You make it easy, but every time I fall back again. Tell me all the secrets, 'cause baby I can see the end. Don't slow down.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a complete disaster clean with me pantry organization, and truly has been one of the most difficult weeks or 2 weeks of my life. My daughter started kindergarten. I had to say goodbye to my dog, who was my best friend in the world. I also have a little bit of a cold that I'm dealing with here, so bear with me with my voice, but we are still trying to get things done, and luckily I got a lot of things organized for my daughter's birthday and some decluttering done before the tragedy struck. I'll talk a lot about everything as I go, but it has been a very surreal week and I'm just starting to breathe again. Thank you guys so much for being here and your kind words as always, and let's do it, guys.
I just need you to say you want.
Say cheese! First day of kindergarten!
Hi.
Say it's my first day of kindergarten!
It's their first day at kindergarten.
Yay!
Can we go right now?
Yes, come on. Surprise!
Come and keep the fire burning. I keep losing track of time. I'm barely moving. Pick up the pieces left behind. I hold on to 'em. You make it easy, but every time I fall back again. Tell me all the secrets, 'cause baby I can't see the end. Don't slow down. I just need you to.
Hey you guys, welcome back for some more extreme cleaning motivation. I apologize for my voice as I'm getting over a cold here. I tried to film this video, or should I say do the voiceover for this video many times, but it has been a very difficult week. Before I get into that, first of all, I'm starting out in my kitchen. This was on a Friday, on the second day of Maddie's school. You know, it's been a whirlwind of 2 weeks, and you know, just getting your daughter ready for kindergarten is enough. I mean, it's a big, huge process and a huge change for moms and the kids alike. So I was already feeling pretty emotional to begin with everything. And I was just trying to, you know, give everything a deep clean, get things in order, things she would need for school, and get my kitchen decluttered. And I figured I would kind of talk to you about what happened while I am going about getting this house back in order. So, call it a premonition or not, I was also prepping for my daughter's birthday, just tons of chaos and things going on around here. After I got this kitchen cleaned up, you'll see I just started wrapping some presents and decluttering my daughter's room a bit, because tragedy just struck my life. I'm still kind of in a daze from everything, but basically my dog Molly was 13 and a half years old. If you're a dog lover, you'll understand this. He was just the love of my life, my best friend. He always was like a second or even my first kid to me. I had him since I was 25 years old, and he has been through it all with me and been my rock, and they give so much love. It's unbelievable. And I did not expect all of this to happen with him and so quickly. He's also in some of these clips because as I was filming this first part of the video, it was the last day I had him without the tragedy starting to hit. So it's hard to watch back and film and talk about all of it, but basically what had happened is on a Tuesday, I had just let him outside and I was bringing him in to feed him some treats, and everything, you know, was business as usual, you know, minus getting my daughter adjusted to kindergarten, which she's getting better about, and so am I. But John had come home early, call it, you know, God's will or whatnot. And I had just sat down to do some editing, and John all of a sudden shouted over to me, Jill, Mully has blood all over him. It's all over the floor. And I'm like, what? No, how could that be? I just was with him literally like 6 minutes ago. He didn't scream out or anything. He was just laying in his hallway. If you watch my videos, you know he's always in the hallway or very close to me. A lot of you guys have grown to love him and make jokes about how he's like my shadow following me everywhere. And he had, but at the time I thought it was a cyst that burst, and there was blood everywhere. Luckily, I got the blood out of control, and I found a way to, get the vet, rush him in. Except the vet couldn't see him until a specific time when I had to pick up my daughter, and because they said the bleeding was under control, that it would be fine to bring him in the next morning and just keep him gauzed up. So that is what I did for that first night. It was a Tuesday, and you'll see a clip of him here in just a minute, and it's just gut-wrenching to see because I didn't realize that this was going to be, the second last time that I would ever have with him again.
What? You contribute to the mess, you know. You're just gonna watch?
So what ended up happening is I took him in that next day, and the doctor explained that he had a tumor that exploded, and there's not much they can do for dogs at that age because he was already 13 and a half. They won't perform surgery, and they basically told me I could put him down right then or take him home and try to do kind of hospice care on him and see if the tumor had, exploded inside as well. We didn't really know what we were going to be dealing with because the only way that they can find out if it was cancerous or not is if they do surgery. But I decided I wanted to try to take him home with a bunch of new meds to see if I could just have some more time with him. Honestly, if he wasn't in too much pain, I wanted everybody to be able to say goodbye to him, and I honestly believed I had another couple of weeks with him. I didn't expect it to go how it did. So I took him home that night, and it became pretty difficult. The next morning, after I gave him the meds, he was dry heaving and starting to shake, almost like he was going to have a seizure. His back legs, due to arthritis, were pretty bad, and he was falling down. And I made the incredibly difficult decision to take him back to the vet the next day to talk to the vet to see if there was absolutely anything else they could do.
Did you bring a blanket out for yourself? But you're not even using it. Okay, you do you.
Those clips there are just so hard to watch because I really didn't realize how quickly this was all going to happen. And when I went back to the vet, they said there was absolutely nothing. They even were trying to come up with options, but because of his age and just that they also found a second tumor, they just said his quality of life wouldn't be good and he could start having seizures, have no control over his bladder, and start being in a lot of pain. So I had to make the decision to put him down, which was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. I love that dog like a child, and it's been a very difficult week for me, especially because it all happened so quickly within 2 days, and I also feel like it's kind of traumatic to find somebody you love like that laying there bleeding. And he never cried out or anything, but as the vet explained to me, they can be quite stoic dogs and not show pain a lot. But I did get to stay with him till the end, and it was very peaceful. I just went through a very tough grieving process. It didn't really feel real for quite a while, and also having to tell my daughter, it's no longer just about you anymore, it's about her. And Mully was her best friend as well, and he was just very loved in our house. So I honestly have just been crying on and off for days. It was just so difficult to go through, and I think that there's something to be said about it's so hard to make that decision, especially for a pet, because they can't really talk to you and tell you exactly what they're feeling, and it's just gut-wrenching. Your heart is broken. I feel like he just took a piece of him with me, and I will just love him forever, and I'm so lucky that I had him for as long as I did. I know that Golden's lifespan can be really, up to about 12 years old. and at the max, so we had even a lot of extra time with him. But surreal is an understatement. The house felt so empty and cold without him in there. I am just used to the chaos between a toddler, now, kindergartner, and a dog. And that first walk in when he wasn't there was just absolutely brutal. And as I'm going into the pantry here on the second day, the last day that he was healthy, I decided to clean it out because I need to get things organized for Maddie with school because of all of the chaos going on. So I decided to at least clear out one drawer here just to declutter it and give it a little bit of a deep clean. Nothing crazy. I had such a long week, but just give yourself a pat on the back if you're going through a hard time and getting one or two things done checked off your list. And it gave me a sense of control in the midst of not knowing exactly what was to come. At this point, I guess I didn't even know what was to come. It actually happened later on that day. So life can just be surreal, right? I mean, you can be healthy one minute and something can happen the next. I know that it was his time, and I'm so glad that I was able to be there with him. And thank you to everybody who's always shared love and support for him and me on my channel. It just means so much. It's so hard to talk about. And I just don't know how to talk about a regular video with something that intense that has happened. But since then, Maddie went through such a hard period of it. She couldn't understand the finality of him really being gone until she finally realized it about a day later, where she just started crying so hard and saying, "Molly's gone, Molly's gone. I like Molly, bring him back." And it was just devastating to watch as a mom. So we did something kind of crazy, as you saw in the beginning intro there, and we have a new addition to our family. He is also a male golden, kind of came by surprise. My dad, of all people, brought home a newspaper after he saw my daughter so upset and said, "This is how we used to do it the old school way, grab a newspaper to find your new family member here." And I just had a feeling about one of them, and we drove about 2 hours to go pick him up. And he is just the most loving, sweet dog. I'm already madly in love with him, and he is bringing some peace to the whole family amidst, such a big loss for all of us, and I believe helping Maddie out as well. But it has just been a whirlwind between that and starting the first week of kindergarten and then going through all of that. And now I am taking care of a puppy. I was joking, oh, this was supposed to finally be my time to, sleep in a little after I get Maddie to school and have all this time to myself, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I am so glad that he is part of our lives, and the house certainly isn't quiet anymore again. But I am just finishing up in my bedroom here, doing all of the laundry. I forgot to mention his name is Bingo. Maddie named him. I would not have that any other way either. It brought joy to her to actually name him, and he is just the sweetest little thing, and I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot more of him in my videos. But I'm just finishing out this video by doing all of the laundry. There is always so much, and even in the midst of chaos and tragedy, life just goes on. I learned that from my mom as well. I'm sorry this was so chatty. I just didn't even know how to talk about regular things when I'm still going through such an emotional time. But thank you guys for being here. I love you all so much, and I hope that you're having a better week than me. And here's to better days. Bye, guys.
Tired. I'm thinking about the days we used to shine when we were young. I told you that we should start a band and reach for the sky. It's 2 a.m. and I can't fall asleep. I'm just not tired. I can hear the raindrops falling. It's cold outside and I kinda feel like calling, but it's too late now. I just miss you. I just miss you. We were such a constellation, right? No, you'd agree. Made a reputation for ourselves at age 18. We had the devil on our shoulders telling fall asleep. I'm just not tired.